it's all by the grace of God, that I'm still living today. And I'm thankful that I didn't give up and just take my life, because I thought about that many times, just giving up because I felt so miserable and hated myself so much. But I had to learn I got to like me before anybody else does. And I have to forgive me before I expect anybody else to. And if people don't like me or don't love me or don't want to be around me, I have to love them anyway. And try to be good to everybody. And I've tried to be a good husband to Lisa. She's been so good to me, and I've had to learn, my grandma's saying that she said her papa told her. This is so important for anybody that's married to learn. And I still use this today. Papa Holler, my great-grandpa, said, think 9 times before you say something that might hurt or offend somebody. And he said by the time you get it thought out, you won't do it. And he also said, less said, easiest mended. Because she was living with an alcoholic husband that was very mean sometimes. And when my grandpa wasn't drinking, he was wonderful. But when he got to drinking, he was pretty bad. But Papa Holler, I would tell her, less said, easiest mended. So sometimes the less we say, the better off we are, But my greatest problem was, I guess, as a young man, was I thought I had to say everything I was thinking, Many times we do that, even as Christians. We think we can just say what we want to say because we've got something on our mind and don't realize that you're cutting the other person's heart out, But we have to forgive ourselves and learn to change. And I've tried to think differently, and this has worked good for me. I told Lisa this. I have had to learn to try to please somebody else besides myself, and because we get too infatuated with ourselves and our needs and our wants and our happiness, if we'll put all of that energy into somebody else, this is what the Lord told me. He said, you put all that energy, all that desire, all that longing into the other person. He said, and I guarantee I'll give it back to you in fourfold. I mean, he has. But I had to learn not to be selfish and self-willed. If I could go back and do things over, all I could say now is just I'm sorry and repent, and I have many times. But God has fixed my life, and He's been so good to me, blessed me. I got a good, wonderful wife, and I got a beautiful home. And God's been good to me. He's given me everything I could ask for and more. It's things I don't deserve. And it's all because of His grace and His mercy, because I really didn't think I deserved nothing. But God loved us a lot more than we love ourselves. And when we hate ourselves sometimes, we loathe ourselves. We have to remember that there is a God that loves us, and He forgives. And He will mend everything we've messed up and broke up. But God is a good God. He is a merciful God. And to think about what David wrote, Lord, your mercies are new every morning. And I think how God has been so merciful to me. And I look at all these mean people, and I think out in the world and in the government and all the things that's going on, trying to trash our president. And I thank God how merciful you've been not to kill people off like you did back in the Old Testament. When you got mad at something and got good and done with it, He'd have them just take them out. Especially what happened, with when Saul was supposed to go take the Amalekites out, God had enough of what they'd done to Israel, and it was time for vengeance to come. But today, thank God, we got Jesus, we got mercy, because He was angry and He was mad, and He told them, that's how Saul was stripped of the kingdom, because he didn't obey God. And so I have learned to obey God. If anything in my life, any lessons that I've learned to obey God and keep my mouth shut as much as I can,
Mm-hmm.
But don't fuss. And I learned don't fuss about stuff. If I could tell everybody in the world, don't get fussy about stuff, because people get sick of hearing that negative mess. And if you just love people and try to be good to them, don't disagree with everything. I had to have a debate. If I was upset about something, I had to debate everything. And I'd get on you kids' nerves so bad because I was so debatable about everything. But it wasn't the way I seen it or the other person seen it. It's the way God seen it. But God wants my heart clean, and that's why I confess, that I wish I was a better man. Back then, I wish I was a better man, but God has fixed me today. And I praise Him, and I thank Him every day for my life and my beautiful children and grandchildren. And all my daughter-in-laws, my son-in-law, I love them and appreciate all that they mean to me. And I wish I got to see them more, but I'm thankful for all the Lord's doing in my children's life. Each one of them have something different going on in their life. And some things are stressful for them, and some things that I know that the Lord is using them in. to help other people. And but God's always faithful. He's always faithful, and in everything in my life, I've seen Him do so many miracles. Back in 2000, I had big chicken spurs on the back of my heels, and I seen X-rays, Josh. There was 2 spurs each on each heel, and I was suffering so bad I was nearly crippled. I'd go to the Y every morning at that time, and I couldn't hardly walk. It was so painful for me to walk and keep shoes on and everything because the spurs were cutting me so bad. When I went to the doctor, he said, "You're going to have them cut out." But he said, "You're going to be out of work a long time because this is a pretty serious surgery, and all the tendons are going to have to be cut and everything." So he says, "You're going to have surgery." Well, I couldn't. I said, "Lord, there's got to be another way. I can't be out of work. My children need me." In 2000, I had a lot going on then, and you guys were just young, and but we just moved into our new church at Promised Land, and the first Sunday, a little black fella come to preach, and he didn't know nothing really about me. He just had met me a couple of times, but he didn't know nothing personally about me. But he called me out. He got ready to preach, and or this was after he preached, I believe. He was talking about the goodness of the Lord and everything. He said he started prophesying, and he prophesied. He pointed at me and said, "Brother, the Lord said if you come down here, He's going to heal you." And when I stood up, I mean, it was hard for me to stand up, Josh, and get ready to go down there. But only your mom knew the pain that I had been going through because I'd have to get up every morning, hold on to the wall, and stagger around and moan and complain, hurt. But when I stood up, he said, and I started coming down. He said, "God's going to heal you if you come down here." And I needed that miracle. I needed to know because I knew God had spoken to him. And when I went down there for prayer, I went down there and I believed God. I said, and I didn't feel it right off. I didn't feel the healing, but he prayed for me, and I took a prayer of faith, and I hobbled back to my pew. But I said, "Lord, when I left the altar, I'm going to take this because I need this, and I'm going to believe this whenever you decide to do it." But anyhow, 2 weeks went by, and I still struggled. I still got up, went to the Y, went to work and everything. So I was hurting real bad. But one morning I was getting ready to get up. I got up at 5 o'clock to go to the Y because they opened early. I could go in and exercise, and need to go back. But anyway, I got up and I said, "I am not in pain. I'm not in pain anymore. My heels were not in pain." I just got up out of the bed and walked to the bathroom door, and I turned around and told your mom. I said, "I am not in pain." The Lord healed me, Josh, and I've been telling everybody for years how God healed me, divinely healed me of bone spurs in the back of my heels. And your mom knew it was the truth because, she knew how things were going for me then. I couldn't hardly stand up, and I couldn't hardly climb steps or anything. But God is a miraculous God. My daddy was dying of stage 4 prostate cancer, and so the doctor told him first thing. He said, "Mr. Honeycutt, you need to make your get your business ready," because he said you've got stage 4, and God healed my daddy because he was going to die. They told him he was going to die and he wouldn't live long. He had a fast-growing, deadly cancer, but people prayed. God's people prayed for him all over. People prayed, and people believed God. And my daddy he's not what you say in great shape today, but he is healed of that cancer. He went back to the doctor just recently, and they said the cancer was dead. And so God did that, and I give him glory for that today. But God's been good. He's been good. Other prayers I prayed, son, that God was a miracle-working God. I prayed when Jeremy went off to Afghanistan. I said, "Lord, whatever you got to do, bring him back safe. Bring him back safe." Sometimes you got to be specific with God. Whatever you have to do when you pray that kind of prayer, be careful, because I didn't realize he was going to get hurt and have to go. He got hurt for a while, but God did bring him back safely. He didn't lose his life. He got hurt, but he didn't lose his life. And I sat there and pondered that one day, and the Lord said, "Well, I healed him, and I brought him back home. I answered your prayer. What else? It's like sometimes we question God, what happened this way? But you pray. You be specific what you pray about." And I remember back when praying for Heather, she's going through a rebellious time. She's living with him by herself for a while, and she's doing things she shouldn't have been doing. I prayed. I just kept praying. And now she's got 4 children. She serves the Lord, and she loves her children. So, and she's got a good life. Owns a home now, and I'm so thankful. and you've got a good wife, and especially for what God has done for you, son. How I prayed, your mom prayed, everybody prayed for you, but how God, He comes through, He does things that we just blows our minds. He blows our minds. He delivered you from drugs and alcohol and all kinds of things, and changed you so much because He put the gift in you, and I knew that God had put the gift in you. And I knew the devil was going to fight you. And we were told early on that the devil was going to try to fight that off of you. But you were using it for God today. And then He put the calling to preach on you. And the devil will try to fight everything you did. But it's like, and he'll still try to fight you. But you are a winner. You're a winner. You're like Trump. You're a winner. You're just going to keep plowing the dirt because, the devil ain't going to win. We know how the story ends, and we trust in God to finish the good work that He started. He said He would finish the good work that He started in us. He said He would perfect that gift. He would perfect that thing that pertains to us. And He is doing it in your life. And it just tickles me to death, especially you come over here and talk to me and let me talk to you. And seeing what God is doing in your life. And the things that can be better if people would just pray. If people would just pray. But I'm so proud of you and everything that in your job. Even I'm so thankful that you got a good job. Sometimes it's stressful at your job, but you got a good job, and so thankful that God put you over there where I used to work. The company I worked for most of your life when you were growing up, anyhow. That they fed us, put clothes on our backs, and give us what we needed, and I'm thankful for everything that company did for our family. But I appreciate the Lord because He didn't have to save me at 7, but I trusted Him. And I still have to trust the Lord. We have to trust the Lord every day for our salvation. Because the devil will try to tell you every day you're not even saved, you're not delivered, you're not, And we fight the devil on a daily basis. And to remind the devil, well, since you reminded me that you say I'm not saved, I appreciate you reminding me that I know that I am. Because all the negative stuff comes from Satan. And so when he tells me that I'm not saved, it makes me feel like I'm not saved, or God's not going to answer prayer. I'm like, I know God's going to answer prayer. And I let him know, I know God's going to answer prayer. And I know that I'm saved. I know that I'm set free, I'm delivered, and I'm called of God because you're trying to tell me that I'm not. And I appreciate you telling me that. So anyhow, that's kind of the basis of my life. I've got so many stories I could tell you, but
I'll cut it from here, and I have an idea, and we'll do more of these.
I got so much more to tell you. If you ever get a chance, we'll sit around and talk and chew fast.